Welcome to Prime Sports with me, Daniel Cranting, and the Business Development Manager of Samatex, Paul Kwesi Anyaba, has spoken out against the Ghana Football Association's decision to extend the presidential term limit from 2 to 3 terms. It's at its 31st Ordinary Congress on Tuesday. The GFA approved the amendment to its statutes, allowing the president to serve a maximum of 3 terms. Out of 124 members present, 114 voted in favor, 3 abstained and 6 opposed. Speaking to Joy Sports, Anyaba described the move as one that undermines the voice of football supporters in Ghana.
On grounds of principle, I have said from day one that I am against the fact that some members are proposing that we extend the term limit. And this is because of 2 main reasons. One, we are coming from somewhere. This statute that we are using was promulgated in 2019, and we know what caused the coming into being of this statute in 2019. And I have also argued that this statute reflects the opinions of not just football people, but the broader public of the Ghanaian people. I think that we should have operated this statute for at least 2-3 times. Have a first president serve his 2 terms, second president serve his 2 terms, third president. And then based on that, if we have the material reason to believe that the 8 terms, the 8 years, 2 terms of 8 years is not enough for president, then we begin to start a conversation which will also include the Ghanaian public, you understand, towards changing the term. We have not finished operating it. We started 2019, and the first president has not finished his 2 terms, and we are talking about extending it. It then brings back the ordinary Ghanaian mind to where we are coming from. Hey, this is the football people. We have always said that they do not have regard for good governance. They do whatever they want. You understand? So for me, I think that we shouldn't have touched it at all. I am also saying that, so if we touch it, it means that those of us that call ourselves football people who are actively in the industry, we are disregarding the opinions and the views of the wider Ghanaian people out there. So the second reason, is that, you see, we are engaged in service. We are selling a service. And what service are we selling? It is football. We are selling to the public. You need the public to patronize your game. In fact, you need attendance of the public in order to unlock opportunities with corporate Ghana. And so if you do not take their views into account, if you do not respect their views, if you think you can do anything as and when you want, it becomes very difficult to get corporate Ghana behind you. And that speaks volume as to why we are struggling to get sponsors for various clubs and even for the various products of the FA. So for these 2 reasons, I feel that the timing is wrong. There could have been a time that we discussed the possibility of extending the term limit, but this is not the right time.
Now, Accra Hearts of Oak board member Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo has also strongly criticized the Ghana Football Association's decision to extend the presidential term limit from 2 to 3. He condemned the decision and suggested he might also pursue legal action.
No, personally, I think what has happened today must be a very shameful act from the FA. And also, I personally am very much disturbed because it appears people can joke with the constitution no matter what. Thirdly, these things are done for individual benefits. And that's exactly what has happened. Legally, this amendment could be challenged on several grounds.
Okay.
Procedural irregularity, failure to follow internal constitutional safeguards, breach of governance norms, and also contravention of FIFA's own expectations for fair and transparent administration. Now, if it's left unchallenged, this is a concerning precedent, threatening not just the foundations of football governance in Ghana, but the democratic principles we have worked so hard to entrench.
Now, Joy Sports hit the streets to hear from football fans in Ghana on the GFA's third-term extension. Joy Sports took the views of fans on the issue.
And for Kofi Adams, I don't know what transpired because he's been a critic of Keto Kweku when he was in opposition. So I don't understand why you allow a Congress in which journalists will not be allowed into the premises. And now you are telling us, Keto Kweku is telling us that, okay, support our own. Journalists should talk much about Ghana League. And when you're having a conference or I don't know what really went on with that Pobiman there or that Pram there that he prevented journalists from entering into that place. So I think Yoko and Ghana Police should invite him as to why he never allowed journalists into that premises because there was something fishy. But for now, Keto Kweku, whatever he wants from GFA, he will get it on a bigger stage. His disgrace will be from FIFA and from CAF. You should mark this on the wall.
That one there, no comment, but forget about Ghana football.
The pitches are not good. The stadium everywhere. Look at what happened at Insua Tremai. Since that time, if you ask me to go to stadium to watch games, I won't go because like probability that you come back home now, it's very very low. So Keto Kweku there. We are in Ghana, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he's going to the theater. I'm not surprised. He has not achieved anything. Look at the Black Stars. Now, do you know they are playing Chan? There's no Ghana. AFCON, no Ghana. Even the World Cup crown. If care is not taken, we can't go. So, Keto Kweku there, I don't want to talk much about him. Whatever he want to do, he should do. So,
okay, yes.
But you don't think that, but right now, do you think Keto Kweku should go for 12 years?
For my option is good.
So Keto Kweku should go for 12 years?
Yes.
Why?
Oh, now he's taking Ghana football too far. The government cannot involve himself unless election. When Okreku can be removed, I would like it. As for Okreku, I don't even like him properly.
It doesn't have to do with the government. Me, I will take my blame to the government. We voted for this government not because of the bad governance of Ekufuor, but because of the corrupt and everything that have been going on with the GFA. And they promised to come and reset the GFA. But now he's in bed with the GFA. We were hoping the government will appoint Neil Van der Poel as the sports minister. And it didn't happen. For no reason, they know their reason. And they chose Kofi Adams. Kofi Adams, we haven't seen anything that he's doing there. I don't know whether because he's close to the president or he's friends with the president, that's why he's still at the position. I don't know why. Because this GFA in the first place need to be dissolved. Not to talk of even going for a Congress to think of whether the president deserves. Can he name even single achievement that he has done to deserve a third term or something? I don't know. So this GFA is a joke. Probably we the citizens have to wise up. We have to wise up and stop supporting the Black Star. Maybe Keto Kweku and the Kofi Adams and the family, they will be supporting the Black Star. Because it is so painful. Looking at what is going on at the GFA, the football, everything, and now this guy is still seeking to go for a third term.
But I have nothing to say though. I have nothing to say.
Why is it that you don't care?
I don't really follow the Ghana Premier League because of the way things are, so I don't really follow it. Yeah.
Why don't you follow?
Because everything is poor, like, you know, the attention, the management, everything, you know, so.
Now, the highly anticipated second edition of the Democracy Cup is set to kick off with a symbolic clash between Parliament's football team captained by Majority Leader Mahama Yariga and the judiciary team, an exciting curtain raiser match. This exhibition game slated for August 29 at the University of Ghana Stadium promises a unique spectacle of intergovernmental camaraderie and competition. According to the majority leader, the competition is to help bring the people of Ghana together.
For democracy, we are an open house. Recently, we started broadcasting our proceedings live, and I believe we have become another source of entertainment to keep a country united and together. There are other countries that have refused to follow the path of democracy, and they are being visited by violence, they are being visited by dictatorship, oppressive leaders, but we have chosen to go the path of democracy. And we need to nurture the institutions of democracy. We need to market democracy. We need to brand democracy well. And I think that this is one of the tools to use such a great national symbol, which is football, something that really enjoys the support of majority of Ghanaians, if not all Ghanaians, to use it as a platform to brand democracy, to make democracy more acceptable to our people, and to rally our people to support democracy.
We turn our attention to German football now, and with the 2025-26 season just around the corner, there are plenty of stories to unpack. For that roundup, we are joined by our colleague Dania Barcelona from DW, our partner station in Berlin. Dania, Dortmund played the final friendly of their preseason against Italy's Juventus and also said bye-bye to legend Mats Hummels. How did that play out?
Hey guys, good to be with you. So yes, Dortmund definitely. So we know that Dortmund, of course, because they played in the Club World Cup this season in the summer, they had a shorter preseason than they would usually have. So just 3 friendlies. Now, their last friendly was probably their toughest test against Juventus from Italy's Serie A. Now, before the match, they said that Mats Hummels, of course, Borussia Dortmund legend, he would be playing with Dortmund for that game in sort of a final farewell to his old club. Now, Mats Hummels did play his last season with AS Roma in Italy, but he announced at the end of the season he would be retiring. So a really nice gesture from Dortmund to have him back in front of his home fans at the Signal Iduna Park and have that one last chance to kick around with his club. He's very much a Dortmund legend. Of course, he played over 500 games for Dortmund. He won the Bundesliga title 2 times. He won the German Cup 2 times. He also was an important part of the Germany side that won the World Cup in 2014. So very much a legend and getting a fitting farewell. Now, he actually started the game. They allowed him to start the game so he could walk out one last time with his team in front of the yellow wall. And he played about 20 minutes in that game. And when he got subbed out for Niklas Süle, everybody was on their feet in the entire stadium. Both clubs gave him a guard of honor. It was all very emotional and an incredibly fitting way for him to just say goodbye to football at his beloved Dortmund. Now, the result, probably not what he would have liked. Juventus came out strong. They took a lead 1-0 in the first half. And Dortmund, although they did have some good opportunities, they were unable to really capitalize on those chances and take advantage of the game. So Juventus went on to win that game 2-1. A little bit of worrying news for Dortmund. Of course, Niklas Süle actually had to go off in the match with an injury. So Dortmund will be keeping an eye on that, of course, because they will kick off their campaign for the new season next weekend in the German Cup first round against Rot-Weiss Essen.
Okay, another legend, Thomas Müller, has also found a new club after his 25-year fairy tale at Bayern Munich came to an end. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about Thomas Müller playing at any other club than Bayern, but that was all the talk throughout the end of last season because everybody knew his contract was coming to an end with Bayern. It was running out. Would Bayern renew? Would they not renew? Turns out they didn't end up renewing his contract, which left the fans pretty disappointed because Thomas Müller is another legend of German football and Bayern Munich, of course. He's never played for another club in his professional career. He's won pretty much everything there is to win at club level and at country country level. He holds a lot of records for Bayern, so there was a lot of disappointment that he would be leaving the club. It's also a big loss for Bayern because he's a big personality in the locker room and a good face for the media. Now, throughout the Club World Cup, everyone was asking, where is he going to end up? Where is he going to end up? Well, finally, it came out that he has now signed a contract with Canadian club, the Vancouver Whitecaps in Major League Soccer. Now, that left a lot of fans a little bit shocked because usually when these big European talents head over to the MLS, they do tend to choose a New York or an LA or Miami, a bigger club, a bigger city. But this is very on brand for Thomas Müller, and many people might actually remember it because Vancouver Whitecaps was actually the former club of Alphonso Davies, who plays for Bayern Munich right now. Now, the current sporting director of Vancouver Whitecaps is actually a German, and he used to work for Mainz and Schalke in the Bundesliga, so he had that little connection to Müller's agents, he was able to open the door and get a conversation. Now, of course, Müller, he's very relaxed, he's very laid back, but he's very also concerned with playing good football and having the chance to compete for titles. And he was taken with Vancouver's coach, their philosophy for him, their plan for him, and also they were able to tell him that Vancouver, Canada is a lot cooler than a lot of these cities in the U.S. If we remember, during the Club World Cup, Müller was incredibly critical of how hot it was. So a major selling point. Alphonso Davies also giving him some tips about Vancouver and the club. But Müller becomes the biggest signing in club history, probably one of the biggest signings in the MLS in the past decades, because a player of his stature is massive for the league. He will also get the biggest contract in club history. And we should expect to see him suit up soon as he gets his international clearance, his visa, and his work permit. So yes, Bundesliga stars and football stars also have to wait for their documents, but it will definitely be interesting to see how he adapts to a new league, a new country, a new team after playing with top players at Bayern for so many years.
Well, thanks, Daniel. Now, the opening match day of Bundesliga 2 definitely did not disappoint. What about match day 2? Did it live up to the same excitement?
Honestly, the second Bundesliga really never disappoints. Even though it's the second league in Germany, it's constantly competing with the top European leagues in terms of attendance. Stadiums are packed out. There's a lot of support, and it's a great way to get a glimpse into what real German football culture is all about. And as things would have happened in the last few years, there's been a lot of big clubs from Bundesliga, traditional clubs in Germany, who've been relegated to the second league. And there's a lot of these smaller clubs with big ambitions. So it's a league where really you never know what's going to happen. It always goes down to the very end of the season. The leaders change from week to week. So a lot of excitement. A lot of fans love the second Bundesliga. Now, match day 2, of course, definitely didn't disappoint. Newcomers, Arminia Bielefeld, they were just promoted this season, starting off the season with a bang. They won their first game, and now they won their second match against Holstein Kiel. Holstein Kiel had been relegated last season from the Bundesliga. Arminia Bielefeld winning 2-0 in that match. Now, Schalke, that's one of those big Bundesliga clubs who've been relegated, who have really struggled to get back up to the Bundesliga. They ended up losing this weekend as well, so disappointing for them. Hertha Berlin, very much in the same boat as Schalke, one of those big traditional Bundesliga clubs, really struggling to get back up to the first league. They lost their first game, and they followed that with a disappointing draw right here in Berlin this weekend. But they did set a record because they had 16-year-old Kenneth Eichhorn. He made his debut for Hertha Berlin. He becomes the youngest player in history to make a debut in the second league. So 16 years old, that's pretty impressive. But Hertha Berlin and Schalke will want to really get their performances back on track.
Thank you, Dania Barcelona from DWR Partner Station in Berlin. And that brings an end to Prime Sports with me, Daniel Cranting. Thanks for your time.